While Sydney was in the middle of lockdown in 2021, my creativity was stifled. I had invested a lot of money into new gear and lenses, and the only thing I could shoot during that time was a small short film for Are You OK Day around my house with limited resources. It was around that time I started becoming really keen to shoot a spec ad. When we came out of lockdown, I was approached by an e-scooter startup called Smooth Horizons to film their launch commercial. I was the director, DOP, and producer for the project. Though the idea was pretty simple, the shoot presented a whole number of technical challenges, especially as I haven't filmed a fast-moving subject before. The other major challenge was lighting. The biggest thing we wanted to emphasize was the summer mood, and that meant everything needed to be shot at either dawn or dusk. Because the location was quite far from where I live, this meant we had no time to recce or scout locations, and also because New South Wales was being hit by La Nina, and every weekend was raining. We eventually managed to shoot the video over 2 days, when there was enough good weather to get what we needed done. The first day actually started with the first shot, which took the most time to set up and was least dependent on natural lighting. We really wanted to capture the mood of a teenager's room, so we put a lava lamp there to motivate a blue tone, though the actual lava lamp was pretty useless as a practical because it was so weak. So we put a Forza 60 on the side with a CTB gel, punching it through a silk sheet to diffuse it and make it soft. This was actually shot at midday, so the sun was pretty top down in the sky. I really wanted a harsh orange side light, so we put a Forza 500 with a Fresnel and CTO gel outside and powered it through the gap in the blinds. The next shots actually took the longest to film. I wasn't sure how I was going to shoot this one before the day, especially given I didn't have the chance to scout these locations beforehand. We actually did like 20 takes of this shot, just because it was so tricky to get the timing of the run just right at the same time as me tracking from the back of a moving car. The whole piece was meant to have a lot of energy, so I shot it all handheld rather than on a gimbal. For a lot of these shots, I was hanging out the side or the back of a convertible and just doing my best to pull focus. The sun doesn't actually set over the beach in Australia's east coast, but I still wanted to take advantage of the hard evening light while not having to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to be at the location almost 2 hours away on both days. I had picked up 2 Lomo standard speed lenses just a few months previously. These are old Russian cinema lenses, which some people say rip off Cookspeed Pancros. To be honest, I don't think they look particularly similar, but it seems like whenever the Russians try to create a rip-off, they instead create something completely unique. Just like the Helios 44 became its own thing, even though it's a Zeiss Biotar rip-off. Because of that, these lenses flare like crazy, with all kinds of blue and purple colors and rainbow patterns. I actually shot a music video before this commercial with a Lomo 428-1 lens and 835-1 lens, and that video showed just how much these lenses can flare with a hard backlight. Because of that, we tried to shoot as much with the sun backlighting in order to take advantage of the cinematic flare that would add to the summer vibe. Some of these shots only last for a few seconds but were very risky, especially when I was hanging out of the car and holding the camera low to really show off the features of the scooter from close up. One of the advantages of Lomo's standard speed lenses though, is they have 2 butterfly focus levers, rather than just one commonly found on Arri's standard mount lenses. Speaking of, 2 days before our shoot day, I actually picked up an extremely rare Ingenue 18.5 lens in Arri's standard mount. This lens was made famous by Hollywood director Orson Welles, who shot most of his movie Touch of Evil with it, including one of the first ever long take shots in the introduction. The second half of the ad was actually shot in reverse order on the second day, starting with the beach sequence and then working back so that the lighting would make sense. We also did multiple tracking shots on Seacliff Bridge, which is a sentimental location for me as I took one of my best photos there. I was filming out the side of the car, which again was super tricky trying to direct the actors and also the driver of the car I was in, whilst also pulling focus and trying to compose. We wanted the final shots to have a feeling of resolution, so they're the only ones apart from the first shot that were stabilized with a Ronin S. I also exposed the final shot for the highlights so that our characters would be silhouettes, really selling the idea of the product being the only way you can have the experience. Well, what did you think? Was there anything you picked up on, or have you shot a video like this before? Let me know in the comments. I would love to chat with you.